Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of People of Distinction, the talk that gives an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, peopleofdistinction.org for more info, or you can always email me directly at benji@alcoleenterprises.com. And on the line with us today, we have Nicholas S. Prukop. We're going to be discussing his amazing book, Healthy Aging and You, Your Journey to Becoming Happy, Healthy, and Fit. Available for purchase through Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com. But people, listen, if you want to gather everything that Nick has in store, well, do yourself a favor and head directly to his personal site, healthyhappyfit.com. Just those 3 words, traditional spelling of each. And once you go there, you're going to find more information on Nick, more information on this impressive book that he's written, as well as find hyperlinks set up to take you to the purchasing page. So one more time, that's healthyhappyfit.com. And I will say, Nick was brought to our network, People of Distinction, today by some of the best publishers in the business, Author Reputation Press. So if you or anybody you know have a book that they'd like moved, give yourself the best gift you could possibly give. Contact ARP and have their fantastic team move it for you. You can find out more information on them at authorreputationpress.com. Now, what you need to do right now is sit back, strap in, and have your notebooks ready. Nicholas, first and foremost, man, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today?
I'm truly grateful, and I feel wonderful to be with you and help our audience understand a little bit about aging and how we might be able to accomplish our goals no matter how many years we've put on. So I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be with you.
Well, thank you very much, Nick. Listen, it's definitely reciprocated, okay? We are really looking forward to this discussion, and, you know, we have a lot of guests that are sent to us that are wanting to be interviewed and put on our network. So, of course, we can't get to everyone, but when your book came across our desk, it was a no-brainer. Again, for myself personally, being a little greedy, this is beneficial for me, but also I truly mean it, man. Listen, after these past few years with this pandemic, things have been flipped on its head a little bit, right? It's a little upside down, and staying healthy and staying fit already just in regular circumstances is difficult enough to do. And then adding on the pressures of this pandemic, whew, listen, this is perfect timing, okay? And we are absolutely looking forward to the words of wisdom we're going to be able to receive from you, Nick. Before we go into your book, though, I want to learn a little bit more about your background. So let's start there. Tell our listening audience a little bit more about yourself.
I was born on Maui, so I consider myself to be a Maui boy, and I grew up on Maui as a competitive swimmer as a little boy. Oh, wow. My love for sport and my love for fitness began at that time. On Maui in the 50s, we basically played, went to school, and I trained as a swimmer. I can tell you that my love for sport and my love for fitness just grew from there, and the years unfolded with me finding ways to maintain a level of fitness that allowed me to grow into my 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and now in my 70s, that kept me on track. And I'm so grateful for that background because my love and passion for being fit has always been with me, and it allowed me to go through the pandemic, as you said, trying to find ways to accommodate the pressures of the pandemic while still continuing to be able to work toward goals that I have set for myself. So I'm a Maui boy, and I am a speaker and writer now, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share these thoughts with you. I think we all want to know how to have a better tomorrow, and that's one of the things we can do today is make our choices today so that that better tomorrow comes. And you're right, there's a lot of adjustments we've all had to make. It's put a lot of stress in our lives, and that's one of the main points I wanted to discuss. Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. You know, listen, people, what I gathered from all of that is this is what Nick knows. I mean, he's done this from a very early age. When it comes to living a healthy lifestyle, this man eats, sleeps, and breathes it, right? So you know that the knowledge found in this book is coming from a very, very valuable place, right? These things have been tested, they're tried, and they're true. Nick, without further ado, Healthy Aging and You. Tell us a little bit more about your book.
I sat down to write Healthy Aging and You because I felt compelled to share the knowledge and experience and wisdom that I'd acquired over the years. As a personal trainer, I had worked over the last 30 years with a variety of clients, many of whom were older than me. I started as a trainer in 1990 when I was 44 years old, and my first client was approximately the age I am now, 76. And I was always curious as to how they were aging versus the way I was aging. And when I wrote Healthy Aging in You, I was able to discover that I had more knowledge about the process than I had ever envisioned before. Healthy Aging in You was a compiled effort on my part to explain how I got to where I am. And along the way, I provided questions at the end of each chapter so that people could start targeting and focusing their behavior and choices going forward with legitimate questions that could help them improve their daily lives. Healthy Aging in You was a work of passion on my part. It took me 3 months to write, and it was the best 3 months I've ever experienced. I just couldn't stop writing once I started. Once the table of contents was written, I knew I had a lot of things I wanted to share. Mm-hmm. So it's an exciting opportunity for me to share this work because it represents the highlight of my life. It's everything I wanted to do to explain to the world how we can do better and how we can improve our opportunities as we grow older and not old.
There you have it. Nick, I want to go a little further in depth with inspiration. So you've already started to cover it, and I think I could assume the answer to the question, but Nick, you know what happens when you assume, man, so I'm not going to do that to you. I'm going to go directly to the source. This is something clearly that is your background, right? So this information is not a surprise to me as to why you would want to write a book. But it very easily could have stayed information that you verbally told those around you, or a book that you comprised that stayed on your personal shelf. But you didn't end there, Nick. You put it out for the public to partake in as well. What were you seeing while you were writing this, or even prior to constructing it, that made you feel this would be beneficial for the public at large?
Well, I've realized as I look at the world around me that we have created a society that is becoming more and more sedentary. Since I have seen the increasing weight of America, we are now looking at 70% of the world being obese or overweight in America. And the stress levels have risen, as you might have guessed, because of the pandemic. Now we're looking at a world of chronic disease and chronic challenges that people have to face while being totally stressed out about the fact that they have to survive today and not get sick. And so the book, the way I constructed it, covers basically all the fitness principles that I needed to cover, but it also covers how to structure your life choices and how to make those choices work for you as you move forward. I wake up every day, for example, with meditation and prayer so that I can focus and target my thinking for the day. And that time is probably the most valuable time I can take for my day to present the day with my best self. So as I look at the book, I look at the way this was structured. It was designed to help me become the best me, or the best version of me that I could be. And that's what I wanted for my audiences. I want them to have the chance to create the best day or the best of themselves that they want to do. So it really does come down to all aspects of life: mind, body, and spirit. And when I use the word spirit, I'm talking about belief systems, not religion. I'm talking about examining your belief systems so that you move beyond the ones that are no longer working for you and create new belief systems that support you. And that's one example of an area that I think is really critical. Because as I was thinking about this yesterday, I realized that if I had to order the priorities of my message today, it is deal with your stress levels, deal with your stressors today, identify them, try to get a hold of what they are, and make appropriate changes. Then the next part is sleep and nutrition. Having good sleep patterns and good nutritional patterns is critical to healthy aging. Third, fitness and activity levels have to go up and not be something we decide we don't want to do. We have to decide we want to do them. So health and fitness actually follows from those two first ones, and the fourth one is becoming happy with who you are becoming. Those four ideas, I think, are really critical. So that's one of the reasons I felt the book could be used as a vehicle for helping to share those thoughts with people of the world.
People, again. We're here on the line with Nicholas S. Prukop. We're discussing his amazing book, Healthy Aging in You, Your Journey to Becoming Happy, Healthy, and Fit. Available for purchase through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or directly through his personal site, healthyhappyfit.com. You know, Nick, next question that I'd love to get into, and listen, this is going to be a very broad question, so entertain me and my listening audience and try to answer it for us. And it's almost unfair because it's so broad. This is not a one-size-fits-all, right? And when it comes to your title, I find it very unique and special that you decided to highlight to become happy, healthy, and fit, right? Because we're talking much, much broader than just exercise. We're talking much, much broader than just dietary habits, right? You're culminating so much. And I think it's really important because, of course, when it comes to being happy, being healthy, fit, and aging in the way that you want, though each one of those things need to be addressed, right? So I love the fact that you incorporated it. Now, I want to take an opportunity for our listening audience. Guys, you know, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, healthyhappyfit.com. You want to gather all the information. There's no beating around the bush. You got to get it. But since we have you here on the line, Nick, what are some words of wisdom that you can offer anybody that's on their journey or maybe beginning their journey and wanting to be healthy? Where should they start?
Well, I think that the starting point always has to come back to the question you ask yourself. And the question I was asking myself in 1985 when I began my spiritual journey was, who do I want to be? How do I want to be happy, and what will make me happy? And the happiness part is directly related to how our cells respond to stress. It's true that unhappy, lonely people tend to age more readily and rapidly. I read that in a study that I was checking out yesterday, and it turns out that being happy and engaged in your own life is really important. So examining your life from a perspective of, what do I enjoy? What do I love? How do I want to perform in the world? What are my basic attitudes toward myself? Do I love myself unconditionally? That's a tough one. I find that to be a really tough one because I've spent the last 3.5 decades trying to identify that very answer. And I can tell you this, when you arrive at a point when you can say to yourself, I love you just as you are, that opens the door to growth, change, expansion of your consciousness. The happy part is our responsibility. No one can make us happy. The happy part leads to the healthy part, though, because if you're happy, people who are happy tend to be healthy. They tend to care about the lives they're living and the people around them and the opportunities that they take advantage of. So healthy people tend to look at their lives from what I call the consciousness side. It's called living from the inside out, not the outside in. You don't want the world to control your choices and decisions. You want to be in control of your choices and decisions and not be influenced by things that draw you back into your old behavior patterns. So the second part, the healthy part, is a daily challenge. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you need to do is just say, I am grateful to be alive. And I'll give you an example of this. 3 years ago, I started riding my bicycle on my training ride, and within a half a mile of my apartment, a truck slammed into me and threw me 25 feet to the pavement, fracturing the ribs on my right side.
Wow.
I skidded across the pavement and was taken to the ICU at the trauma center. Doctor there said, and this was 3 weeks before my 73rd birthday, he said, Nick, if you hadn't been as fit as you are, you would have died from that impact. So when I got to the hospital and I was on pain medication for 4 days in the ICU, the doctor came up to my room and said, Nick, you have all your ribs on the right side fractured and your organs survived. Your spine survived. Your body made it from the crash to here. I can only tell you this. I was so grateful to hear that all of those years of training had worked in my favor after the truck hit me. The next 2 months were bad. I had to adjust to a great deal of pain and a new way of living. And 2 months later, I was diagnosed with a pulmonary embolism, which could have killed me, and blood clots in both legs. I was again taken to the ICU, and I was in the ICU for 4 days, again on blood thinners, getting treated for the blood clots. And 1.5 years after that, my leg was diagnosed with a blood clot running the entire length of my leg in April of 2021. So now, 2 years into my accident, I had blood clots and more challenges to face. And my day, I wake up saying, I am so grateful I am not in the ICU. I am breathing. Because when the pulmonary embolism hit, I couldn't even walk up the stairs. I was just gasping for air. I called 911 because I collapsed outside my door. So here's the key. Don't take life for granted. I don't. Every day I wake up and I'm breathing and able to work out, I say, thank you, God. Thank you for giving me this day. And that's where my health comes from. I am so grateful for the health opportunities and grateful for the opportunities to train. I said this to a gentleman at the gym yesterday when I was working on the weights. I said, I'm just grateful I get to do this. I'm so happy to be here. That gratitude translates to healthy thinking. Absolutely. So my example is, over the last 3 years, I have been challenged like I've never been challenged. I had never had a problem with my health and fitness issues until that truck hit me. So now I'm taking blood thinners for blood clots. I'm taking blood pressure medication to keep my blood pressure under control. And these are all things that are used to help me get back to where I want to be, which was the person I was before the truck hit me. So I can tell you this, patience is a virtue when it comes to our health. And being conscious of all of the gifts that you've been given is critical. Mm-hmm. And third, fitness. I can tell you I will never stop working out. To me, working out is like brushing my teeth. So every day I'm either cycling or I am training on the weights. I am stronger and more fit now than I've been in a long time because I am so focused on my fitness. But fitness follows happiness and health. So now I have a reason to do this. I don't want to be back in the ICU. I don't want to be in the hospital being cared for by doctors. I want to be the person I was before the truck hit me. But here we are 3 years later, and I'm still working on the results of that truck hitting me. So my answer to the audience is, don't take life for granted. Be engaged in every choice you make, and don't let your cell phone control your behavior. Don't stare at your phone all day long. Be present today. Make your choices consciously and let tomorrow unfold because you did good today. Hope that helps.
Nick, that was incredible, man. Listen, people, let me hold off. I was going to offer a reflection. It's not even. What you said was absolutely incredible, so impactful. My last question here, Nick, and the only other place that I can go with this, I know about your past. I know about this book. I want to know about the future, man. Please tell me there's another book on the horizon.
I've written 2 manuscripts, which will be what I call the trilogy to Healthy Aging in You. And one of them was written during the pandemic, and one was written before the pandemic. And I hope to get those books published. They are on my computer, and the reason I haven't done that is because I've been dealing with the health issues and the medical issues that came as a result of the truck hitting me. I've written over 100 articles online at healthynewage.com and askthetrainer.com, and also at the Medical Fitness Network. So I've written articles on all 3 websites, and the 2 manuscripts I do want to get published to supplement what Healthy Aging in You started. Healthy Aging in You is what I call the template. It's the foundation from which I'm growing. I want to be the advocate for the principles of healthy aging going forward, like my idol, Jack LaLanne. I want to be in my 80s and 90s doing what my work is telling me to do now before I die. So I'm driven to be the speaker and advocate that I always wanted to be, and I just had to wait till my mid-70s to have the story to tell, to help people know that something is going to happen to us. Are you ready for it?
Mm-hmm. There you have it. People, listen, Nick is starting a movement, okay? And the only question is, are you joining or not, okay? I promise you, this is something that we all need. You may be very young right now. You may be very healthy right now. That doesn't necessarily mean that tomorrow is going to be the same thing, right? Putting things in practice today will help you overcome things tomorrow. Once again, we're here on the line with Nicholas S. Prukop. We just finished discussing his amazing book, Healthy Aging in You, available for purchase through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or directly through his personal site, healthyhappyfit.com. Head on over there today, pick up your copies, check back in frequently to get the other books in the series the moment that they're completed. You surely will not be disappointed, people. Nick, this has been an absolute pleasure, man. Such an honor. I truly mean that. Thank you once again for being a guest on People of Distinction.
Benji, this has been a remarkable moment in my life, and all I can say is I'm hopeful that doors will open and I can help more people.